Welcome to Lento English. Ready to level up your English? Here we learn through stories, slow, clear, and fun. Listen, relax, and enjoy the journey.
1. Introduction. There is a big new idea in the country. This idea is about the country's money. It is a plan for taxes and spending. President Trump is talking about this plan. Other important people in the government are also talking about it. These people are leaders in the government. They are working on the plan. Many people in the country are watching what happens. They want to know about these changes. The plan is in the House of Representatives now. The House is a part of the government. People who work there are called lawmakers. They are talking about the plan. They will vote on it soon. This is a very important step. Speaker Johnson is a leader in the House. He is working hard to help the plan move forward. He wants the lawmakers to vote yes. The plan suggests big changes. It talks about taxes for people. It also talks about taxes for businesses. The plan wants to keep some tax cuts that started in the past. It also wants to make new tax rules. For example, it talks about taxes for people who get tips. It also talks about taxes for car loans. The plan also talks about how the government spends money. It talks about spending on different things. For example, it might spend more money on the military. It might spend more money on keeping borders safe. The plan also talks about spending on programs that help people. These programs help with health and food. The plan suggests spending less money on some of these programs. It also suggests ending some money help for energy projects that are good for the environment. President Trump likes this plan very much. He calls it a big, beautiful bill. He talks to the lawmakers. He asks them to support the plan. He thinks this plan will be good for the country. He thinks it will help the economy. The economy is about money and jobs in the country. Making the plan is not easy. Lawmakers have different ideas. The Republican Party is the president's party. Most Republican lawmakers support the plan, but some Republicans have questions. They want to make changes. The leaders in the House are talking to these lawmakers. They are trying to find agreements. It is important for many Republicans to vote yes. The Democrats are the other main party. Most Democrats do not like the plan. They think it is not fair. They worry it will hurt some people. They are trying to stop the plan. They are talking and voting no. The plan had a vote in the House already. This vote was a first step. 217 lawmakers voted yes. 212 lawmakers voted no. Almost all Republicans voted yes. One Republican lawmaker voted no. All the Democrats voted no. This vote means the plan can go to a bigger vote in the House. This bigger vote is happening soon. If the House votes yes on the plan, it will go to the Senate. The Senate is another part of the government. The lawmakers in the Senate will look at the plan. They might make changes too. Experts are looking at the plan. They are thinking about its effects. They are thinking about how much money it will cost the country. Some experts say the plan might add a lot of money to the country's debt. Debt is money the government owes. This makes some people worry. Other people think the plan will help the country's money situation. They think the economy will grow. There is also talk about the country's debt limit. This is a rule about how much money the government can owe. The country needs to make a decision about this soon. This chapter is an introduction. It tells you about the big new idea for the country's money. It tells you who is involved. It tells you that there are different ideas about the plan. The next chapters will tell you more details about the plan and what happens next. 2. The New Money Plan. The New Money Plan is a big set of ideas for the country's finances. It includes important changes to taxes and government spending. The plan has two main parts: what people and businesses pay in taxes, and how the government uses money for programs and other things. Regarding taxes, the plan suggests keeping the lower tax rates for individuals that started in 2017. This means many people will continue to pay less income tax. On top of this, the plan proposes new tax breaks. For example, people who work in jobs where they receive tips could get a tax break. Another idea is a tax break for people who use loans to buy cars. The plan also changes the rules for deducting state and local taxes from federal taxes. For some people, the amount they can deduct might increase up to $40,000. For businesses, the plan suggests ending some tax credits earlier than planned, especially for companies involved in green energy projects. When it comes to government spending, the plan makes significant proposals. It talks about programs that help people like health care, often called Medicaid, and food assistance, often called food stamps. The plan suggests making deep cuts to the money for these programs. This could affect millions of people who rely on this help. For the health care program, the plan wants to add or speed up work requirements. This means people might need to work to receive health care help sooner, perhaps by the end of 2026. The plan also includes rules that could penalize states if they choose to expand their health care programs in the future. Beyond social programs, the plan also discusses other areas of government spending. It proposes increasing the amount of money spent on the military. This is for national defense. It also suggests spending more money on enforcing immigration laws. This is about controlling the country's borders and rules for people coming in. So under this plan, spending on defense and immigration could go up, while spending on health and food help could go down. Putting all these pieces together, the new money plan is a complex package. It changes who pays what in taxes and where the government spends its money. Supporters believe these changes will boost the economy and make the country safer. People who do not support the plan worry about the effect of cuts on vulnerable people and the overall cost of the plan for the country's debt. The debate about these changes is a key part of the discussion happening now in the government. 3. The president's push. President Trump strongly supported the new money plan. He thought it was a very good plan for the country. He called it one big beautiful bill. President Trump wanted lawmakers in the government to vote yes for the bill. He worked hard to get their support. He met with many lawmakers. These meetings happened at the White House and in other places. He talked to groups of Republicans in the House of Representatives. He asked them to support the bill. Some lawmakers were not sure about the plan. They had questions or different ideas. President Trump talked to these lawmakers too. He asked them to agree with the plan. He told them why he thought it was important. He used strong words sometimes to show how much he wanted the bill to pass. He told them it was important for the country's future. He believed the plan would help the economy grow and make things better for people. He thought it would create jobs and make life easier for many Americans. He kept saying the bill was good for everyone. President Trump also worked with the leader of the House, Speaker Johnson. They worked together to get the bill ready for a vote. Speaker Johnson needed support from Republicans. President Trump helped by talking to the lawmakers who were not sure. He encouraged them to vote yes. He made phone calls and had private meetings. He told the lawmakers that passing this bill was a very important goal for him and for the party. He said it would be a big success if they could pass it. In one meeting, President Trump talked to the Republican lawmakers for a long time, about 90 minutes. He was very firm and clear about what he wanted. He also gave them support and told them they could do it. His message was powerful. His efforts helped Speaker Johnson and the leaders of the House get the bill closer to a vote. President Trump told the lawmakers they needed to work together as a team to pass this important bill. President Trump kept pushing for the bill. He did not want it to stop. He wanted it to pass the House and then go to the next step. He spent many hours talking to lawmakers and asking for their votes. He focused on getting enough votes from his party. He needed many votes for the bill to pass. His strong support and constant talking to lawmakers were a very big part of the effort to move the new money plan forward. He was the main person asking everyone to say yes. His push was very important for the bill's journey. He believed the bill would be a big success for the country. He told lawmakers to trust him and vote for the plan. He worked hard to make sure his message was heard by all the Republican lawmakers. He wanted to make sure they understood why he thought the bill was so good. He told them it was a chance to do something great for the country. He spent a lot of time and energy on this effort. His push was key to getting the bill to the House floor for a vote. 4. Making the plan together. Speaker Mike Johnson had an important job. He was the leader of the House of Representatives. His task was to get the new money plan ready for a vote. He wanted to make sure it could pass. But this was not simple. The Republican members in the House did not all agree on the plan. They had different ideas about what the plan should do. Some wanted to cut government spending much more. They thought the plan did not go far enough. Other Republicans were worried about some parts of the plan. They thought certain changes might hurt people or their home states. Speaker Johnson and other leaders had to work hard. They talked to all these different groups of Republicans. They listened to their concerns and ideas. They had many meetings, day and night. It was like putting together a difficult puzzle. They needed to find changes that most people could accept. President Trump also helped in this process. He talked to Republicans who were not sure about the plan. He asked them to support it. His words were important for many members. Because of these talks, changes were made to the plan. These changes were added to try and get more Republicans to say yes. For example, they changed a rule about health help for people with low incomes, called Medicaid. The plan said people must work to get this help. The change was about when this work rule would start. They decided it would start sooner, at the end of 2026. The first idea was to start it later in 2029. Another change was about taxes people pay in their state and city. People can take away some of these taxes from their federal tax money. This is called the SALT deduction. The plan changed the highest amount people could take away. At first, The plan suggested a limit of $30,000. But some Republicans from states like New York and California did not like this limit. They wanted a higher one because taxes are high in their states. So, after talks, they agreed to raise the limit to $40,000 for some people. This change helped get support from those lawmakers who were worried. Making these changes and getting everyone to agree was a big challenge. There were many different opinions and goals. The leaders had to find a balance. They needed almost every Republican vote because they did not have many extra votes. Speaker Johnson and his team worked for many hours. One meeting about the plan lasted for almost a whole day. After all this work and making changes, Speaker Johnson felt hopeful. He thought they had found a way to pass the plan in the House. It showed that making big laws needs a lot of discussion and compromise. 5. Voting in the House. The time came for the House of Representatives to vote on the new money plan. This was a very important step. The plan needed to pass in the House before it could go to another part of the government. At first, there was a vote about the rules. This vote was needed to let the main vote happen. The people in the House voted 217 to 212. This vote showed how people felt about the plan. Most people from the Republican group voted yes. They wanted the plan to move forward, but one person from the Republican group voted no. His name was Thomas Massie. Another person from the Republican group, Chip Roy, voted yes. People watched him closely, but he voted for the plan. All the people from the Democrat group voted no. They did not want the plan to go forward. This first vote happened very early in the morning. Before the main vote, lawmakers talked a lot. The Democrats tried to stop the process. They did not agree with the plan and wanted to make it harder for it to pass. Republican leaders worked hard to get enough votes. They needed almost everyone from their group to say yes because they did not have many members. Passing this vote was a big help for them. It meant the plan could have a final vote in the House soon. The final vote was planned for later that morning. People waited to see what would happen. If the House said yes, the plan would go to the next step in government. This vote in the House was a big test for the plan and for the leaders who supported it. 6. Different voices heard. Democrats did not like the new money plan. They spoke against it very strongly. They said it was not fair. They believed the plan would help rich people and large companies the most. At the same time, they said it would make things harder for people with less money. They pointed to changes in important programs. These programs help millions of low-income families get health care and food. Democrats said the plan would cut help from these programs. This was a big worry for them. Democrats tried very hard to stop the plan from passing. They tried to make many changes to the bill. They offered over 500 ideas for changes in one meeting, but their ideas were not accepted. They also tried to make the vote slower. They used different ways to delay the process in the House. They said the way the bill was being passed was not right. One Democratic leader said they would fight like hell against the plan. He called the plan a scam that would take money from everyday people and give it to rich people. Inside the Republican group, there were also different opinions. Most Republicans agreed with the plan and voted for it, but some had concerns. Some Republicans, often called hardliners, wanted the plan to cut government spending much more. They thought it did not go far enough in reducing costs. They wanted bigger changes to reduce spending. Other Republicans, sometimes called centrists, worried about how the changes, especially tax changes, would affect families and voters. They thought some parts might hurt people and make them unhappy with the party. When the House had its important vote, almost all Republicans voted for the plan. But one Republican lawmaker voted no. He had strong worries about the plan's effect on the country's money in the future. He said it would lead to big financial problems for families. His single no vote from the Republican side showed that not every Republican was fully happy with the plan. The talks and debates about the plan were very long and often loud. Lawmakers from different parties, and even within the same party, had very different ideas about what was best for the country. Democrats were united in their opposition. They explained their reasons clearly, focusing on fairness and help for low-income people. Republicans had debates among themselves about the details, showing different goals and worries. Hearing these different voices is a key part of making laws. It shows the many different views in the country. The plan moved forward, but the strong voices of opposition and concern were a big part of the discussion. 7. Counting the cost. The new money plan comes with a big price tag. People are talking a lot about how this plan will cost the country money. Experts who study the economy and government money looked closely at the plan. They believe that this plan will add a large amount of money to the country's debt. The United States government already has money it owes from previous years. This is called the national debt. Adding more money to this means the country will owe even more. The experts' report estimates that this new plan could add about $3.8 trillion to the debt over the next 10 years. If this happens, the total amount of debt for the country could increase to around $36.2 trillion. Many people are very worried about this big increase in debt. They think that having such a large amount of debt is bad for the future of the country. They are concerned it could cause serious problems for the economy and for families in the years to come. One person in the government used strong words, saying that following this plan is like heading towards a big problem for families. On the other side, some people have a different view. They are supporters of the plan. They argue that the plan is a good thing for the country's economy. They believe it will help businesses grow and create more jobs. When the economy is strong and growing, the government collects more money from taxes. These supporters think that the extra money from a growing economy will help pay for the plan. They say the plan will pay for itself because of this growth. They made a similar argument about a different tax plan that became law in 2017. However, after that plan, experts calculated that it still added about $1.9 trillion to the debt over 10 years, even when counting the positive effects on the economy. A company that looks at the financial health of countries around the world also gave its opinion. This company is called Moody's. Moody's looked at the United States' financial situation, including the growing debt. Because the national debt is getting bigger, Moody's decided to change its rating. This rating is about how likely the U.S. government is to pay back its money. The change showed that Moody's sees more financial risk now because of the increasing debt. Some people in the government who support the plan did not agree with what Moody's said. They thought the company was wrong in its judgment, or that the time they chose to make the statement was unfair. So the cost of the plan and the question of how it affects the country's debt are very important points in the discussion. People have different ideas about the true cost and whether the benefits of the plan are worth the increase in debt for the future. It is a key part of understanding the debate about this new money plan. 8. The next steps. After the first vote in the House, the big money plan moves to the next step. It goes to the Senate. The Senate is another part of the government that makes laws. The people in the Senate are called senators. There are senators from every state in the country. They will look at the plan very carefully. They will read all the parts of it. They will talk about it in meetings. They will have discussions and debates. The Senate might not agree with everything in the plan that came from the House. They can decide to make changes to it. This means the plan could look different after the Senate finishes its work. Making laws takes time because different groups need to agree on the details. The Senate has its own ideas about the country's money and what is best. So they might add or take away parts of the plan before they vote on it. Leaders in the government have a hope for this plan. They want to finish working on it soon. They hope to have it ready by a holiday that is coming at the end of May. Getting the plan done by this time is an important goal for the leaders who support it. It shows they are making progress. While the Senate works on the plan, there is another very important money decision for the country that is coming soon. This decision is about the country's debt limit. The country has a limit on how much money it is allowed to borrow. This is set by the government. It is like a maximum amount of money the government can owe. If the government reaches this limit and cannot borrow more money, it cannot pay for things it needs to pay for, like salaries or payments for past borrowing. This would be a very serious problem for the country's economy. The time to make a decision about raising or changing this debt limit is coming soon. It will happen later this summer. So the government has two big money things to think about and act on. One is the new money plan that includes changes to taxes and spending programs. The other is the limit on how much money the country can borrow to pay its bills. Both of these things are very important for the financial future of the country. People are watching to see what the senators will do with the plan that came from the House. They are also watching to see what happens with the debt limit decision. These next steps are very important for the country's money and its stability. The process in the Senate will take some time. There will be more talks, more meetings, and more votes. The senators have different ideas and different priorities, just like the members of the House. They will need to work together to find a way to agree on the plan, or it is possible they will not agree and the plan will not pass the Senate. But for now, the plan is moving forward to the Senate. This is the next stage in the long process of trying to make this big new money plan into a law for the whole country. The decision about the debt limit is also a very important next step for the country's financial health. These are big moments for the government and the country's economy. Everyone is waiting to see what happens next with both of these important financial matters that will affect the country.